Shalom from Israel. I'm Hanania Naftali with the latest update from the Middle East. Today, we are getting into three important topics: Prime Minister Netanyahu's historic visit to the US, the disgraceful protests against Israel, and the controversy surrounding the woke opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics. Buckle up for an in-depth analysis. But before we continue, if you want to support local businesses in Israel, then go to theisraelstore.com. Blessing Israel in times like this is not just important, but needed. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent visit to the United States was a momentous occasion. This marked Netanyahu's fourth address to the US Congress, surpassing even Winston Churchill, who spoke 3 times in Congress. Netanyahu's speeches have always been impactful, but this one carried special weight as it aimed to strengthen the US-Israel alliance at a time when it faces scrutiny.
This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
These words are powerful in a world where radical ideologies threaten our fundamental values. He emphasized the unbreakable alliance between the US and Israel, a bond that must be preserved and reinforced. In his 55-minute speech, Netanyahu highlighted the moral distinction in the ongoing conflict, stating, "For Israel, every civilian death is a tragedy. For Hamas, it's a strategy." This clear differentiation underscores the moral high ground Israel has in its defense against terrorism. I loved in particular Netanyahu's closing words when he said, "May God bless Israel, may God bless America, and may God bless the great alliance between Israel and America forever." It's more than just a closing sentence. It's a call to action to solidify this crucial partnership. This visit and speech were aimed not just at politicians, but at the heart of America. It's a reminder that the battle Israel fights against terrorism is also America's fight. The American public, and by the way, I got a lot of comments from you guys that how this speech was powerful. Do let me know in the comments what did you think about it. But the American public understands that Israel stands as the first line of defense against radical Islamic terror that threatens the entire free world. We must appreciate and support this alliance for the safety and security it brings to both nations. However, it's important to note, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Many Democratic legislators boycotted Netanyahu's speech. Leading figures such as Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and Bernie Sanders chose not to attend. It's truly shameful because in the war on terrorism, and as Israel fights for its survival, there should be no opposition to that. You can argue policies and politics, but boycotting the Prime Minister, the highest representative of Israel in Congress, shows that they care about politics more than about doing the right thing. And by the way, the contrast of how Kamala Harris welcomed Zelensky in Congress versus Netanyahu shows a lot about where the Democrats are headed. It's infuriating to see so many in the Democratic Party turn their backs on Israel. This alliance between the US and Israel is not just about politics. It's about shared values, history, and the commitment to fighting evil. It's time for true patriots to stand up and defend this vital relationship. Israel is the one democracy in the Middle East. Other democracies should stand with Israel as it is fighting a war waged on our democracy. As Netanyahu spoke inside Congress, outside, a very different scene was happening. Pro-Hamas and anti-Israel protesters gathered, burning American and Israeli flags and vandalizing monuments. This behavior is not only disgraceful, but utterly hypocritical. I have a question for these protesters. If you hate America so much, then why are you in America? Leave America if you despise it so deeply. If you cannot respect the freedoms and opportunities this country provides, then perhaps you don't deserve to enjoy them. Guess what? Respect is a two-way street. Burning the flag of a nation that stands for liberty and justice only highlights the ignorance and hatred these protesters embody. This kind of behavior undermines the very principles that allow them to protest in the first place.
They call Israel a colonialist state. Don't they know that the land of Israel is where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob prayed, where Isaiah and Jeremiah preached, and where David and Solomon ruled? For nearly 4,000 years, the land of Israel has been the homeland of the Jewish people. It's always been our home. It will always be our home.
This powerful reminder that Netanyahu said of our historical and biblical roots should silence those who question Israel's legitimacy. Netanyahu has also met with former President Donald Trump during his visit, a meeting that showcased the strong and personal bond between the two leaders after years of not meeting. Trump has done more for Israel than any other U.S. president, from recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital to exiting the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. Now, the interesting part is that Trump also warned Netanyahu and said, if he doesn't win the upcoming election, we could see major wars in the Middle East.
If we win, it'll be very simple. It's all going to work out and very quickly. If we don't, you're going to end up with major wars in the Middle East and maybe a third world war. You are closer to a third world war right now than at any time since the Second World War. You've never been so close because we have incompetent people running our country.
Netanyahu, addressing this shift, remarked that for Iran, Israel is first and America is next. The enemies of Israel are the enemies of America, and the victories of Israel are the victories of America. Now, let's shift gears to the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics, which has sparked outrage for its overtly woke performances. From a twisted recreation of the Last Supper with queer figures to a bearded man dancing provocatively while almost naked, this ceremony was a slap in the face to millions of viewers worldwide. You don't have to be conservative to know that. Our world used to celebrate culture and tradition. What we saw in the Olympic ceremony was nothing close to culture or tradition. Just to give you context, the Olympic 1992 opening ceremony looked like this. Today, it looks like this. The depiction of religious and historical scenes in such a disrespectful manner is not just offensive, it's a deliberate attack on faith. It doesn't even matter if you're Christian or not, it's an attack on faith. I don't accept the excuse that it's art and expression. It's nothing like that. It's about pushing an agenda that mocks tradition and faith. There is a time and place for everything, and the opening ceremony of the world's most prestigious sporting event is not the place for such divisive and provocative performances. We must stand firm against this cultural degradation and demand respect for our values. The Olympics should be about celebrating of athletic excellence and unity, not a platform for woke agendas and controversial performances. I don't ask for the Olympics to be about conservatism or about liberalism. Just be about athletics, period. Is that too much to ask for? It's high time we reclaim our cultural and religious values from those who seek to demean and trivialize them. Remember, guys, to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates. In this world where everything we stand for is under attack, we have to be united together and we have to stick close to one another. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Shalom.